Very well, Mr. Wright. What is it that the witness saw in this instant? Please show us a mysterious blue badge or look-alike. What? Bro, I'm so lost. Oh! Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we are back with another episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, and today we are on episode number 5 as per usual, but this time we are not on the investigation portion. We are now going into the trial. We still have a little bit of investigation to go, but we're basically at the trial part already. Last time we discovered that Gant has a lot more involved with this than we originally had thought. We went and we raided his office and we found some pretty incriminating evidence of which he wanted to hide from Phoenix and the crew. So and also we did get Gumshoe fired, so like you know, at this point I don't know what's gonna happen. Some crazy stuff's about to go down and I'm ready for it, but I hope you guys are ready to lock in. Let's get into it. All right, Lana, what's up? Lana keeping quiet. I have to admit, I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth, it's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say. So, you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? Nah, I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. Oh, so Gant would be the one. That's so just like I was saying in the last episode about being like, you know, he's controlling her. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, whom, may I ask, is this person you're speaking of? The one I am supposedly so frightened of? What is this person's name? Damon Gant? Nah, Mike Meekins. Like, no, bro. No one's gonna be afraid of a dude named Meekins. Well, Miss Sky, don't turn your back on me. Mr. Wright, you are addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place. I take it she's still not ready to spill the beans. My apologies. Are you serious? Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? What were you doing, smiling? Why did you turn around? Wait, who are you looking at? Him? We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Well, assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence. Of course, these are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Chief Gant? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation. Yeah, you, but also one other, Damon Gant. If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in that case. Oh, bruh. Stop it. Wait. You want proof of the chief's wrongdoings? Here it is. That evidence proves someone is doing something wrong, all right, but it's not the chief. Who would that be? Why, you, of course. Me? Yes. You seriously believe what you're saying, don't you? Now, that's scary. You seem to have the makings of a criminal in you, what with your fallacious accusations. Care to spend tonight in the cell next to mine? If you ask me, you're the scary one. We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he's respectable, to tell me something. Why? Oh, never mind. Hold on, we've already been through that. Sorry. I think I did select the wrong thing. Yeah. It's not that. It's this. I just found this in a safe in the chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now, tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him? Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmised. I cannot disobey the chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate. And the murder of Detective Goodman, or perhaps I should say, follow orders. Yeah, that's more accurate than cooperate. Orders? Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Oh my gosh. So this absolute bastard really did kill Goodman. Whoa. Just as I suspected. Despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. Wow. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken, and I discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body. The murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife? No, when I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it. The knife from the SL9 incident. Serial killer Joe Darke's knife. I couldn't just leave that knife in him. So I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. That would be Edgeworth's knife. That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. And that is the reason for the bandage on your right hand? Yeah, it seems I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then, she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. A star, huh? Okay, so that does line up. Interesting. I'm glad she's telling me this. I mean, although I kind of had a feeling. I mean, I only knew of the controlling aspect. I didn't know about the fact that it was more so in order for her to get rid of the already defecated? What? The already deceased body. Why did you need to hide Darke's knife so badly? It took a lot of work to finally close the Darke case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that by any means possible. So, you hit Darke's knife? The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Darke case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that. So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it? In Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. Right, then I called my sister. To tell her what happened, and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. You asked Emma? I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma is so confident. About Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. A bad feeling? The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. To Marshall? Why on earth would you call that absolute goofball? The lead investigator for SL9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least, I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke with him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean... Not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. Hence him going to the office, or into the locker room. He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He had already stolen the ID card, but it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. Okay. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room. Interesting. Can you stop turning around? Like, look me in the eye when I'm talking to you. Like, do you think this is normal? This is how you talk to people? I'm literally staring at the back of your head. Are you for real? I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. But Lana, you've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Tomorrow's trial, there's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murderer. And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago. See, I told y'all. We're about to be in court, baby. It's the big day, y'all. Let's get it. It's the final trial. This is the last day that we can have in order to clear Lana's name. Let's get it. This is the defendant lobby, all right, but there's no defendant. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? And where's Emma, for that matter? It almost seems as if something's happening behind the scenes. Oh, sorry. I thought this was gonna be Gant's slimy ass. Edgeworth! Knowing you, you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 777777 ID number that is? Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt regarding this ID record. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True, not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, Wright, and Chief Prosecutor Sky will be found guilty. But she didn't do it! I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say. This is the first time he's ever done something like this. Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her. The truth? Everything goes back to the SL9 incident. Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about the past. That depends on you. If she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. I'll think about it. See you in court, Wright. Why are you pissed? This is the same dude who was manipulating the case and got you to get like reprimanded in a what was it called? A formal trial? I don't even know. He was in there getting you like basically shook and took, bro. And you're like, I don't know, right? We can't really reminisce about the past. And what about your incident? Bro, literally in your entire case, it all took place in a separate, what was it, the DL6 incident, bro? Where your dad died, bro? And we helped you out. And guess what? Digging up the past helps. So, like, put some faith in me, bro. But he doesn't care. This is it. If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Gant has on her. It's now. All right. Final day of court, y'all. Let's get it going. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Normally, this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. Chief Gant. Look at him. I hate you, bro. Morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, Ajay, been back in the pool yet? No, I've been drowning enough as it is in my work. Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that. If you don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours? I hate how you hijack the game to like give yourself a pause, bro. Like you're so full of yourself. Lana, that is to say the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. Oh, you slime ball. He probably blackmailed... He's probably got Emma, like, captured somewhere, bro. What a slippery... What's all this about, defendant? I'd just like to make one simple request, and I'll be finished. Well then, what's your request? Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh? I confess to all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. No! Lana! She's trying to sacrifice herself to save Emma, bro. That's why Emma's not here, because Gant's got her in a chokehold. You can't! Your Honor, the defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services, and now I'm fired? I'm about to be kicking rocks with freaking Detective Gumshoe, bro. But Lana! Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please. Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. Her request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there's no further need to continue this trial, even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise. This cannot be happening. It appears the time for this verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant... Oh, here we go. Get that. Oh, Edgeworth? Let's go. One moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature. Come on now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut, I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant. What? Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. Okay, Edgeworth, stick up for yourself. Speak with your chest. With the sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Some kind of deal, hmm? Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. Oh, to whom? As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Skye. I request the court hears her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, I am exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to continue. I don't care what you think, Miss Skye. The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Very well, the court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Miss Chief Gant? Worthy, you'll live to regret this. Mark my words. Is no one hearing this? Is no one hearing this? Bro, I'm sorry. If someone's coming to the court, let me speak with a little, I'm here and bring it down to here. Okay. If someone is coming to the court and they're talking crazy as the police chief and they're like, I'd like to bring this person to the stand, and they want to close a case that has already been confirmed to be wide open and not shut. I'm in the court stands like, this dude seems a little like sus, bro. Like, why does he want to stop the trial? And then he says some crazy stuff like, after somebody fights against it, you'll live to regret this. Mark my words. Like, bro, I expect you to be bald and petting a hamster or a cat or something in your lap while you're plotting the doom of the universe. Are you serious? No one's gonna catch on to this. Everyone's just cool with his behavior. Miss Emma Skye, please take the stand. Looks like Edgeworth has decided to take the horse by the reins. Heck yeah, Edgeworth, bro. I'm Team Edgeworth. Let's go, baby. Never swap off him again. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Emma Skye. My occupation, I'm Lana's little sister, and I want to be a scientific investigator. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Darke of the Joe Darke killings. Is this correct? Yeah, I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time. Mr. Edgeworth, please remember this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant? Yes, it most certainly is. Well, okay then. Well, yeah, I'm about to say, yeah, he folded quick. He sure gave in fast. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago. All right, this is it. The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial. All right, Emma, let's hear it. Let's hear it, little sis. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me, but I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. Okay. It's a good thing you weren't harmed. I passed out. I don't remember much. That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder? And that will soon become apparent, Your Honor. You've gotta admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. So he's relying on the double team. I feel you. I feel it. Let's go. Let's get it. Okay, let's just press her on everything first and foremost before we try to hit her with evidence. 2 years ago, the defendant was detected at the police department, correct? Yeah, she was second in command under then Deputy Chief of Police Gant. My sister, she was the best detective ever. Yes, I remember. Deputy Chief Gant and Miss Skye used to be quite the pair. I believe they shared the same office, actually. That's right. I'd always sit at my sister's desk. And dream about playing that organ. I wanted to play it that day, too. The police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day. Lana promised to take me to dinner after she finished her work. A man came running in and took me hostage. A man? Yes, Joe Darke. He was a serial killer. Joe Darke was brought in for questioning on the day of that ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest. When he saw his chance, he fled the room, right? Upon fleeing the room, Darke proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. Then he ran into Sky and Gant's office. There was a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened up the door to have a look. That's when I saw him. Neil Marshall rescued me. Let's ask about it. What was the prosecutor doing there? That day, there were two people present during Darke's questioning, Deputy Chief Damon Gant and Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Almost forgot about Gant. Neil Marshall had just received the King of Prosecutors award. Okay, right. Young and dedicated, he went straight to the questioning room after the ceremony. I assumed that would also be why he was the first to run in after Darke. When Darke grabbed me, I thought I was good as dead, and that's when Prosecutor Marshall came running in. I don't clearly remember what happened then, but I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. Can you tell us about that? Mr. Marshall jumped on Darke. Just then, the lights went out. The lights? It was just about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on, and lightning struck nearby. So the electricity went out. Wait a minute. If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? Right, but just then lightning flashed again outside. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind. I see. I told the detective about what I saw then. The detective? Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case. Okay. Detective Bruce Goodman, the victim. Hear more. So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago. Yes, that's what's so scary about this trial. And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw? Yeah, but at the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture. A picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before. Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough? I asked about the picture. This picture the witness drew, I believe has very important meaning. But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Witness, would you mind if we added this statement to your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. Okay, yeah, this is cool. I drew a picture of that scene once, but it seems to have been lost. Oh yeah, here we go. Yep. You know what we gotta do. We gotta make sure it's on there. I'm pretty sure it's on the back. Yep, there it is. Yep. Alright, cool. It's not lost, it's right here in my repertoire. Present! Mr. Edgeworth. This little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet, you would insist on denying its existence? Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture. That may well be. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold! This is the evidence list for the SO9 incident. Please turn it over, Your Honor. Turn it over? Turn it... Oh, what is this? Oh, what in the Sam hell? Yeah, what is that? Hey, that's it. That's the picture I drew. Heck yeah. Indeed, two men appear to be wrestling here. What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Me? Only the prosecutor in charge should have access to that list. Huh? These lists. They're different from each other. What? It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one. You can see the marks here where they were torn apart from each other. So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half of the evidence in that case ever reached you. What? What? Order. But Miss Sky, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list? Because that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor. Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor! Are you alright, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head. If the evidence list was torn in half, then there might be more of the drawing in the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list. Yes, that's quite conceivable. Mr. Edgeworth? It's possible. Let's see. Okay. So you mean to tell me neither of these goofballs ever decided to look at the back of this evidence file and thought it was a little bit... Let's see what this drawing looks like. Huh? Is something wrong? Do you even have to ask? Sorry, Your Honor. There is indeed something drawn on the back of my list. Okay. It's that thing. Oh! That thing that was dancing in the evidence room. Clearly, this act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives. I guess he was out of scrap paper. Okay, list of evidence in the SL9 incident. Half of this is found in Dan's desk. Very well, witness. Will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago? Huh? Oh, yes, sir, Your Honor. What's wrong with Emma? She seemed to be thinking about something when she was looking at the picture. That is kind of strange. There's something else that we haven't accounted for. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. Okay. To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind. Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw. Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Darke was about to murder prosecutor Neil Marshall. The defendant may now begin its cross-examination. Of course, I'm king of cross-examinations. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Yes, sir. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were shadows. Let's press her on this. So at the time, you didn't even know it was Mr. Marshall who had come to your rescue. No, I couldn't see him clearly. The lightning was so bright and I was knocked to the floor. You were knocked to the floor? Darke had a tight grip on me, but when Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away. I turned around, and that's when the lightning flashed. Poor Emma, I'm just glad she wasn't hurt. What happened after the lightning flashed? After that, I must have fainted. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to be more precise about this. You mean you didn't see the actual murder take place? No, I'm sorry. The flash of lightning only drove off the darkness for a split second. Not only that, but the trauma of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint. Do you really need to torture this girl any further? Like you didn't call her to the stand. What? Hey, I'm not the bad guy here. Anyway, this picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. Okay. Sorry for asking so many times, but are you sure you drew exactly what you saw? Of course, this is the exact scene. It wasn't influenced in any way from your talks with the detectives? Are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright? No, of course not. I'd better watch out or he might try to find some way to cut my salary. I drew this picture before I heard anything from the detectives, so I don't think anyone's story would have influenced me. Mr. Wright, is there something that's bothering you about this picture? Huh? Well... That's strange. She claims this is exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind, and yet, there's clearly a contradiction here. I mean, the fact that there's no discernible faces. All I can see were shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in this instant. But I mean, it doesn't really help. Evidence room. We don't really have any other evidence. Check it. I mean, I feel like it would just be the back of this. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and save real quick because I don't want to lose health over this because this is going to be probably a long trial. Oh! Oh! I forgot. Hold on a minute. This declaration right here about this being exactly what she saw. First of all, he was stabbed in the back is what the autopsy report states. Okay, Neil and Goodman's. Okay, okay. Both of their... Yep, there it is. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction. What? But I still remember it just like it was yesterday. Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. What part of this picture contradicts this right here? Getting stabbed in the heart. I think it's this part here. I don't see what's so strange about that. That's because the drawing stinks. Mr. Wright, how could you? The act of making an innocent. It says he was stabbed in the back. But here it says he's stabbed in the neck. The contradiction lies here. Of course, take a look at the knife the man is holding. If you look closely, you can see its tip is broken. Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr. Wright. But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? Its tip is broken too. If I recall, the tip of the blade was found broken off in the victim's body. It was the conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Darke was the murderer. I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma. Okay. And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken. Okay, yeah, I see it. Oh, what is the meaning of this? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there. That's right, what does this mean? The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness' memory is mistaken. That's why I asked her so many times if she remembered if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time, but she was sure that she remembered correctly. But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already? About a little something called falsified evidence? You're treading on thin ice, right? All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. No. Order. Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted? Your Honor, please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Darke along with Damon Gant. During his questioning, Joe Darke fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Darke. It is my belief that somewhere in the story there is a lie. I'm not lying. The man was holding up a broken knife. If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife. What are the chances of there being two broken knives? Another broken knife beside Joe Darke's. Could there have been one? There is another one. If the witness is this adamant about the accuracy of what she saw? Yep. Couldn't save. They're gonna put us in a situation we don't want to be in right now. It can't just be explained away by simple observational error. Mr. Wright. In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife? If so, please feel free to enlighten us. The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. This is the real murder weapon. It was already broken. It was broken prior to the day of the murder. You know? Ooh. It might be this vase. Hold on a minute. If anything's broken here, it's you. Huh? I'm sure this must be very amusing to you, Mr. Wright. But I remind you of the... Oh yeah, y'all are funny, bro. Y'all are hilarious. The trophy? Like, bro, I don't know. It was the knife on the freaking night? Are we serious? The answer lies in the past, 2 years in the past. Right here inside this picture. This is a picture of the award ceremony. Huh? What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon. Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall is holding. Man, get the f out of here, bro. Be so for real. I literally pointed this out. Oh my gosh, bro. This game never gives me my flowers. I had to go and look inside the picture, but not the actual award itself. That's a broken... Like, I get it. It's because the halberd was, like, taken off of it. But, like... Bro. I was alluding to that. That's why I selected it. That's a broken knife. And did I... And y'all realize I literally said that in one of these episodes. I said, it's kind of weird that this trophy's missing the thing. Like, yeah, there was a legitimate reason, but, like, at the same time... Isn't it kind of weird that they had the thing removed? So he went through this many hoops to make sure he wasn't found, bro. Get Chief Gant out of here. As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Darke's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from this award. Order, order, order! Neil Marshall was awarded King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Darke, he pulled out his knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was his only weapon he had in this dangerous situation. But that can't be. Oh, and why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because if the King of Prosecutors Award knife was the murder weapon, then the murderer and the victim would be reversed. What do you mean? I mean, this man raising a knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh. Oh! So was it Marshall going to stab him? But the prosecutor was the only one who actually died. That's true. What the hell is going on here? I'm asking the same thing, bro. I'm lost. I'm so lost in the sauce. It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Wait! I remember now. I remember everything. Witness? Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? His list? This one? The one with the picture scribbled on the back? Okay. Yeah, what does this weird thing have to do with it? I knew it. This picture? I'm the one who drew it. What? You drew that? That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. Okay. All this time I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part way deep inside of me. Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness testimony. Would you please tell us what you recalled, Miss Guy? What you've recalled, Miss Guy? Yes, Your Honor. First the knife mix-up and now the blue badger? This should be interesting. Okay, I'm having trouble piecing things together now, too. I'm assuming that there's going to be some crazy twists going on. This trial about to last a minute. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed toward both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw a shadow. What is happening? This is certainly most unusual. Try impossible. The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year. That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago. Yes, well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Stop, please. Don't pursue this any further. Lana? What's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. But you can't do this. I've already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that? Chief Prosecutor Sky, we've already come this far. It's too late to turn back. Silence! The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant. It seems we're finally getting to the core of the matter. Are we sure about that? Because I'm pretty sure you said that the last trial, too. We're not getting to the bottom of shit. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed toward both of them. So now you ran at them and tackled them? See, now withholding evidence and statements, like, how do you expect me to find and read between the lines here? Why would you do something so dangerous? What else could I have done? He was about to stab Mr. Marshall. She seems convinced that Darke was the one holding the knife. But as we've just theorized, Mr. Marshall was the one holding the knife. Well, I didn't know at that time. When that Darke guy knocked me down, all I could think was, I've got to help the other person. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. What do you mean you think? What do you mean you think? It all happened so fast, and I was in shock. I don't remember everything clearly. What I did, it's all kind of a blur. Miss Sky was almost killed before she was witness to a murder about to take place. With so much happening in a matter of seconds, it's a little disorientation is only natural. I saw the man about to stab the other person who I thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with a knife. What you did was very brave, young girl. So then what happened next? Okay. I saw the flash and then blase. I saw the blue badger. Are you sure about this? Of course, see? I even drew a picture of him here. But it was the chief of detectives who thought up this hideous beast. And that was just this year. The blue badger didn't exist 2 years ago. This is all quite verifiable. I know it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department. I had this nagging feeling that I'd seen him before somewhere. Now I finally remember. Oh, brother, just when you thought the thing had caused enough commotion. Tell us, where in the room did you see him dancing? He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. His shadow? So you mean you didn't actually see his face with its winning smile and all? That's right, but I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns. 3 creepy horns. This is pointless. That thing couldn't have possibly existed 2 years ago. The witness must be mistaken. That may well be. But what's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did. Oh, and I suppose you have an explanation? If so, but then by all means, please tell us what the shadow really was. What was it Emma saw when that lightning flashed? Who is the Blue Badger, really? Who is the Blue Badger? The Blue Badger hadn't even been dreamt up when Emma drew this picture, yet she's certain she saw the shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is in the defense's belief that on this fateful day 2 years ago... Yep. He about to say something incredibly dumb and get my health dogged. There indeed was something that looked similar to the Blue Badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room. Mr. Wright! In this very room. Very well, Mr. Wright. What is it that the witness saw in this instant? Please show us a mysterious Blue Badger look-alike. What? Bro, I'm so lost. Oh! Y'all, bear with me for a second, dog. Bear with me for a second. Bruh. Nah, this is crazy. Bro, this is actually crazy. There's no way. It was the face. It was the face. The mysterious Blue Badger was in fact this. But that's... what exactly is that? I believe it's some sort of jar. Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the Blue Badger. Indeed it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint? Oh, viewpoint? I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this. Dog, literally, just look at this. You just have to look at it. Only thing is you can't get the other horn. I think this is it. What? Bro. Be so for real. Like this, perhaps? So you mean to tell me this doesn't look exactly like that little ugly badger, bro? So that doesn't look exactly like it. Bro, that literally looks exactly like how that thing looks. This took me way too long, bro. This took me way too long. And they're foul for this. Well, is this a miracle or what? No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the Blue Badger. Oh my gosh, this took so long. This trial has been a bunch of doohickey nonsense. No, it can't be. Oh, I wish it wasn't too, bro. Order, order! The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious Blue Badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this. Although we have all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So that badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed, very well then, please tell us. What's different now that we know the witness... Wait, no, what's different now that we know the witness saw this jar? Their murder weapon. Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright. Yeah, well, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? Where? The location of the jar is shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime scene. It's on a shelf in the office of Damon Gant. But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself. Yeah, and it's these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Darke and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened to the other side of the room in Chief Gant's office. Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body? From Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office? Yeah. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright? Hey, bro, I'm gonna leave it there because I don't know. I don't know.